It was unbelievable. The man fixed 8 plastic bottles on the wheels and gave him a gentle boost, and the wheels began to spin like crazy, while driving the generator. And the fan connected to the power supply was also driven with ease. What kind of magical operation is this? Just see, the man first removed a wheel from the scrap bicycle, and the tire and liner from the wheel to separate the removal, only to retain the hub part. At the same time, he cleaned the rust from the hub and sprayed it with a coat of paint to protect it from rust. Next, he welded a bearing to a square tube, and welded this flat tube vertically to a larger flat tube to form a bracket. 2 of these brackets were made. The hubs were threaded into the brackets to hold them in place, and their bases were joined to form a single unit. As there were no ready-made fittings, the man found the lids of 2 paint buckets and glued them together with hot melt glue to create a belt-driven pulley. Once the gluing was done and the holes were ironed out in its center, it was ready to be mounted on the hub's center shaft. It's true that there's nothing you can't think of, nothing you can't do. Next, the man welded a short piece of pipe next to the base to facilitate fixing a board with a transformer and socket on it. A small generator was then connected to the fan to test its power. After testing, the fan rotates normally. After the test was completed, 2 plastic bottle caps were threaded into the generator, and a certain distance was left between the 2 caps, thus forming another pulley. In this way the generator can be mounted and fixed to the wooden board with screws. Once this is done and the motor is connected to the transformer with wires, the main structure of the device is complete. Now there is still one important accessory missing, which is the belt used for transmission. The man cut out a piece of the liner and sewed it together to form a homemade belt, which was put on 2 pulleys. After testing, the transmission was normal. At this point, there is one last important step left. The man fills the plastic bottles with water, making sure that each bottle contains the same amount of water, and in this way fills 8 plastic bottles before attaching them to the hub. In order to make the force uniform, the plastic bottles also need to be fixed in an even manner. Once all the bundles have been tied together, the power generator is complete. Now it is possible to test its effectiveness, and when the man gives the hub an initial boost, the magic happens. The wheels started spinning like crazy, which drove the generator, and the electricity generated gave the fan plenty of power. One has to admire the man's craftsmanship. So how many points can you give him for such a power generator made of plastic bottles and hubs?